Now, what's interesting about this investigation is that on the night that the police received this tip, they actually went to Isabelle's house and they spoke to her. They asked if she knew or had any contact with the person named in the tip, the person the tipster claimed that she was going to kill, and her response to both of those questions was no. And actually, Isabelle kind of gaslighted these officers too, kind of like, you guys have my phone from the other investigation, so how would I have even been able to contact him? Like, what are you talking about? So I don't know. At that point, I guess they just took her word for it. They didn't cancel school the following day. They didn't do any sort of follow-up, nothing like that, which up until this point, you might be thinking, okay, well, why are we even talking about this case? It seems like it's all just a false alarm, that this tipster got the wrong name, perhaps, the wrong information. They didn't, like, this girl was already being looked into for other stuff. Like, what's going on here? However, it wasn't until the next day, on January 23rd, when things really started to hit the fan in this case. Because during the school hours, the investigators decided that they still needed to look into Isabelle. So they pulled her out of class, and that is when she started confessing to everything. The investigators asked her if she felt like harming herself or harming others, and her response was yes. Then she did something pretty bold and kind of surprising in my opinion. She took the lead in the conversation, and she told the investigators that she had a handwritten letter that she was going to give to her parents after murdering this other student. Isabelle also claimed that inside her backpack were multiple different things that were needed to carry out this perfect murder. Knives, gloves, trash bags, wipes, a murderer's kit. And just in case, for any reason, these officers thought that maybe she was bluffing or exaggerating, Isabelle opened up her backpack, she grabbed the white trash bag that was inside of it and pulled it out, and she handed it right over to the investigators. And all it took was one very quick peek inside this bag, and that told the investigators all they needed to know. She wasn't lying about what she had brought with her. All of that kit, those, the weapons, the cleanup, everything was right there in her backpack. So after handing over these weapons and the equipment, Isabelle then proceeded to tell the investigators exactly what she was planning to a T. Because keep in mind, up until this point, nobody knew that there was even a plan, let alone what it was. Just that one of the students at the school was potentially in danger and that Isabelle was involved. But they didn't know what the exact details of this plan were. So this student who was the target is redacted in all of the court documents. I have seen the name out there, but obviously I'm not going to mention that in here. He's a minor. His privacy deserves to be kept that way. So what I will say is what we do know is that he was a male student at Isabelle's school. So Isabelle's plan was to wait in one of the upstairs bathrooms at the school until this student came in alone. She was then going to grab him, throw him into one of the stalls, and stab him to death. And I believe she was even quoted saying she was either going to stab him multiple times in the stomach or she would slit his throat. But she was, quote, undecided, which obviously the situation is not funny at all. It is highly disturbing. It is highly scary, but the ignorance in Isabelle's plan and the thought process behind all of it, that is a little bizarre and not funny, but kind of like, what? Because she also claimed that she knew that she was going to be caught. It's not like she was planning this and she had a getaway plan and she was going to frame someone or she was going to make it look like an accident. She said she knew that she was going to do this. She knew that she was going to get caught, and that afterward, her plan was to smoke a cigarette in the bathroom before leaving. She even brought a cigarette and a lighter to school. And so she said, yeah, I just wanted to smoke before being sent off to jail. She also claimed that she had flowers that she was going to bring to his funeral after killing him, which I've heard mixed reports, one being that the flowers were going to be brought to his funeral, which if you thought you were going to jail right away, I don't know how you would even attend the funeral. But then I also saw reports that she was bringing flowers to sprinkle on his body in the bathroom stall after she killed him as like some sort of ritual type thing. So I don't know which is exactly the exact truth, but flowers were certainly involved, especially because I don't know if 15-year-olds really comprehend that funerals don't take place immediately after a murder.